Why would they take this chance?
Well, what you're talking about, what I sent you there is from CNN. And it first went on to talk about the Vince McMahon scandal in 2022, where he ended up paying, it says $20 million of misappropriated funds. Now, I don't know the business world that much, but misappropriated funds gets really close to embezzlement, doesn't it? And that's like a prison-worthy offense. He had all the stock that gave him the majority vote. He soft-cooed his way in there. You know what I mean? He resigned, and then he said, no, I got all the stock, and I'm not going to approve anything you guys want to do unless you let me back on. So he negotiated his way back in. But now he steps all the way out. The CNN article went on to say this. TKO's most recent quarterly regulatory filing with the SEC, which was in September, TKO noted McMahon's position on the board could have adverse financial and operational impacts on the business. That was September. Today is what? The 29th of January, 2024? They've known for how many months now that this stuff was going to explode, and Vince just sat there. I mean, what kind of business does that? The CNN article also talked about, is this going to affect their stock? And you got to think it's going to.
Do you own any stock?
I had before, but I don't have any right now, but I want to go buy some because I think it's going to go down. Well, let me correct that. I had WWE stock when they before they got bought by TKO. Man, I'm just wondering, like, the first time Vince got caught with the allegations in 2022, and then he resigned, got back in, it was all kind of fluffed over because there wasn't really any specifics. But now this one's coming out, and he resigns right before this happens. How many more people are going to come out? That's what I want to know. Was there $20 million for 7 people? And he offered her 3. That math don't sound right. And if he paid more to other people, did he do more debaucherous stuff? That's my question. I don't know what's going to happen here, but this is getting exciting. This is more exciting than the damn storylines. I know that for sure. And the reason I ask is this rampant because I remember a student that I had ended up getting hired developmental by WWE, was put in a position when she was being interviewed by Johnny Ace, and a very uncomfortable situation. It never went anywhere, but the words she told me were grooming words. Absolute grooming words. Does that happen on every interview that he's going to be on? I mean, this could get, and didn't he just marry one of the Bella, or both of Bella's mom? That was a couple years ago. That was before the initial scandal. Did they get divorced?
I think they're still together, last I knew.
If anybody knows out there, just put it in the comments for us if you will. Appreciate it. So then, now this story is a little bit more personal to me. I hit the thing. This story is just a little bit more personal to me. There was a specific WWE talent that was wrestling at one of the OVW, what was the Six Flags show? Yep. Six Flags Super Summer Sizzler Series. After the event, went out to eat. There was a whole host of people. It was at a Longhorn, and the Longhorn had closed, so there was nobody else in there, but they kept it open so we could continue to eat and have a good time. Now, the WWE talent that was working on the show that night was being handled by Mark Carrano. And if you remember, Mark Carrano, he got fired maybe a couple years ago, but then I remember a small sliver of news, pro wrestling news coming out that he had some kind of dirt on somebody, but then it never really went anywhere, So I think right there, is he involved in this somehow? How far back does this go? Because that girl was hired, the one in the lawsuit, I think she was hired in 2019.
Yeah.
How long has this been going on? And then we saw the thing about where Shane has been upset. How long has that been going on? When did that happen? If I get back to my story, we're in the Longhorn. The woman that would become my wife had to go to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom all night. Carrano had been paying her how pretty she is. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh my God. And Carrano was just, I liked the guy before this, but he was kind of a weird, creepy guy. She goes to the bathroom. Next thing I know, I can't find Carrano. I go and try to open the women's bathroom door, and he's holding it shut from the inside. Foot against the door, but she was on the other side of the bathroom, so he couldn't reach her. Arms stretched out, kiss me. And finally, I pushed my way in, and he, slithered his little way out. And in the moment, I didn't realize how much that affected my, the girl I was with, how that really upset her and just put her in an awkward position. And then, she felt like she had PTSD because she would go in bathrooms later on, and all of a sudden, is she going to get encroached upon by some creepy guy? I didn't understand in that moment that's how much it affected her. And I, you know, that was just me because we're all having a good time, and he went right out, and she didn't express it at the time, or I probably would have gotten a little bit more upset at Carano right there in the Longhorn.
Get this straight. You were out with Mark Carano. Your soon-to-be or eventually-to-be wife went to the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
He followed her into the restroom. Is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Holy shit.
So when I was released as a coach, 2015 in Orlando from the Performance Center, the night before I got released, one of the talent called me, messaged me, texted me, and said, I don't know if this is real or not, but the guy that was doing the hiring and firing from the office is going to be there tomorrow, and I think you're going to get let go. All right. So I get in the meeting where I know I'm getting let go, and I told them right there because the HR woman was on speakerphone, and I told that story to the guy that was firing me right there, and he's like, there wasn't really anything he said, but I know HR heard it. Was that ever addressed? No, I doubt it. You know, is that the kind of stuff that was going on inside that office?
We're also talking about the Triple H press conference where he said, hey, we're going to keep everything positive. He also said, I just found out when you guys found out. Do you buy that at all?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't say, but I would think that if people in the office knew about it, Triple H worked in the office. I find it very hard to believe that if something that salacious is going on in an office, and they didn't have a whole lot of people in that office, that, you know, everything's going to get around, rumor mill's going to get around. So I can't say that he did or he didn't, but if it was me, I would probably say I didn't know either. Because that's something that I
would definitely say I didn't know. Unless he's going to be connected, you know, through a text message, which I highly doubt he is. You know,
or a partner now. You got to remember that there was threesomes.
That's true. I'm sure. Surely him and Vince weren't tag teaming any of these women. I wouldn't think, but I don't know.
Hold on now. If Vince is doing the stuff he's doing, you don't think he would have a threesome with his son-in-law, Triple H?
Well, I think he would, but I don't think Triple H would have a threesome with Vince, though, is what I'm saying.
I don't think he would either. I don't think he would either.
And I don't think he would let him shit on him if that was his thing. But anyway, so I don't know.
Pay? Hold on, we got to find out what that pays. If that pays $3 million, I take a turn in the back of the head.
I saw some people saying that. I mean, give me $1 million. Then, very interesting. We also the other day talked about Brock Lesnar, and we kind of both agreed, and some other people have agreed that it's kind of he took it as a rib, maybe the whole thing. Very interesting. Did you see the Brock Lesnar news in regards to the Royal Rumble the other night?
No, but I agree. From the text we saw, he didn't look like he was in on it. Like he looked like he was taking it as a joke, ha ha. But you were telling me earlier that he was what's the word? Absconded, erased from one of the videos in the Royal Rumble.
Well, number one, from what I've seen and read, he was supposed to be in the Royal Rumble and he wasn't. And then number two, I'll put this in here. There's a picture of all the past Royal Rumble winners, and in 2003, it's blacked out, which was Brock Lesnar. 2004, it's blacked out, which was Benoit, and 2022 is blacked out, which is also Brock Lesnar.
So you're telling me Brock Lesnar is on the level of Chris Benoit as far as putting the shade on him?
I mean, I'm not saying that, but if this is true, I'll have to look it up and make sure. But it looks like, at least for the time being, they are going to try to protect themselves depending on what comes out. And right now, Brock Lesnar is not being acknowledged by the WWE.
What happens if they quit using Brock Lesnar and this mars his career? Something that was a joke, might have been a joke, and he was laughing it off. And the last thing we remember about him is this horrible thing. That would be atrocious on Brock's career. And unwarranted.
Or there's something yet to come out.
You know it's coming. Coming.
It could just not be these couple texts that we saw from Brock. There could be something totally else that either somebody knows, and this is a way that it's not going to come out. Hey, Brock, let's just forget about all this stuff, and we're not going to mention you anymore, and it'll go away. Maybe that's part of the deal. Or it's going to come out, so they're already getting a step ahead of it. Remember when they did the Benoit thing, and they had the big celebration and all that kind of stuff, and then they didn't, and then that
But that was hold on, but that was like a one day it happened, and then the next day it was something else, and we thought one thing. They've known since at least September, probably 2022, and probably past that this stuff's going on.
Yeah.
Who let that stuff go on, or could you not say anything? Vince is the boss.